What's up, BookTube? So in this video, I want to talk about 5 authors that are relatively popular that I have read at least one book of, but I need to read more of because I've liked their work and I've been intrigued by their work, and I just want to see a little bit more. So that's next. So author number 1 is Brandon Sanderson. I've read one Brandon Sanderson book, and I know in the BookTube community, Brandon Sanderson is very, very popular. And so I'm looking to read more because I do want to continue to expand my reading interests, to expand beyond what is comfortable to me in terms of reading. And so Brandon Sanderson is one, and I'll just segue right into number 2, which is Sarah J. Maas. I've read one book of Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Thorn and Roses, and I want to continue with that series. And some of them are actually on audiobook, and I'm wondering if audiobook might be something that could help me because her books tend to be a little bit longer, as do some of Brandon Sanderson's books. But I want to check out some of those books. The Crescent City series is another one I've been interested in. I know a lot of people are reading that this year, and so I'm really looking to jump into a little bit more of those 2 particular authors, Brandon Sanderson and Sarah J. Maas. Number 3 is an author that I've actually read several books from, and was on a roll reading books from this author, James Patterson. And then I kind of stalled a little bit on James Patterson, and I haven't been reading some of his books of late. My mom is actually a big James Patterson fan. She's read a lot of books, and I've kind of inherited some of her James Patterson books. And so I'm looking to read a few more from James Patterson, who writes a lot of suspense, a lot of espionage, and a lot of detective type books. And he's just really all over the place in terms of cool characters that he's written that have been made into movies and all kinds of stuff. So I'm really interested in reading some more James Patterson. Number 4 is an author that I have not read in a long time, and I'm not necessarily the biggest legal thriller reader, but John Grisham is a book author that I've read in the past, more so when I read stuff like The Pelican Brief, books of that nature. I'm trying to think of some other books that I've read. I read The Chamber. And I've seen the movie The Firm, but I've never read the book, and I actually do want to read that book, The Firm. But John Grisham, of course, writes legal thrillers, and very interesting, usually set in the South, in like New Orleans or somewhere in that area. And so I'm definitely interested in reading some more John Grisham books. I've got a few back here. My mom also, again, like James Patterson, she's a big fan of John Grisham, or at least she used to be. I don't know if she is so much anymore. And so I've inherited some of her books. One recent one that I got from her was Runaway Jury. I watched the movie, and I really liked the movie. And so I'm kind of interested in reading that particular book after seeing the movie. And lastly is Joyce Carol Oates. I haven't read a lot of Joyce Carol Oates recently, but I would say probably 5 to 10 years ago, I read a number of her books. I really got hooked on her books. And then I kind of got away from her books a little bit, but I do have a bunch that are on my shelf that I have not read, and they are very, very interesting. She writes more of a literature style, and it's usually longer type of stories, but they're very, very interesting topics that she takes on. Sometimes some social justice topics and just some interesting, really compelling characters, and she paints a scene as well as anybody. So definitely looking forward to getting back into reading Joyce Carol Oates. So those are 5 popular authors that I've read before, and yet somehow I got away from them, but I want to get back into reading these 5 authors again.